Here we go. As soon as the floodgates were open with my account on Facebook, we get this again. Yep. So my live feature is being taken away again. I don't know if y'all can see that. So that's probably gonna last a few days. I just got it back, like not too long ago. For those of you who have not been like shadow banned or anything like that, like it's the most frustrating thing ever, man. Like, think about how often you go on social media and then like just doing regular activities and saying what you want to say, like you're gone. You can't use half of the functions. It's been like that for years. So I don't find this fun. I don't like social media. As I posted before, I'm here to attract more producers into the realm of what we have going on, because that's going to be one of the great things that's going to propel you forward in any way. So I'm paying that forward to people that did that for me, and I'm going to do it through the means of this social media grind, which sucks. I did start this up. I had some wild things to say today. I'm not going to say them, though. And you got to be on my Rumble to hear those things anyway. I posted a couple things about them. It just is what it is. Now, what that led to, it led to a video of, what's his name? Alex Hormozzi. Okay, I don't know if you heard of him. He's basically a digital marketer. He goes viral all the time. People want to listen to what he has to say. He's basically like the Joe Rogan of the marketer world, I guess. He's pretty cool. He's about mental health and all that. He makes bank. So what I love about that is you get raw authenticity with people like him. He's not out here. He doesn't necessarily have to 100% depend on his social media, the way it's presented. He can basically just do and say whatever he wants. And that's what I'm trying to get my point across to, that this whole place is fucking useless. If that's not the case, then what are we doing? What are we here for? There's other better means of getting our news. It's pathetic that this is how we rely on our news, because we know those news stations are bullshit. How much of the, so many smart people I know, especially from the older generation, which I hold in high regard. I truly appreciate my elders and respect them and want to learn from them. I've been like that since I was 5 years old. Let this car pass. But like y'all, like I can't have conversations with you guys no more, because like it's just like, yo, if you're sitting down and getting your info from a news station and bringing that to the table, as far as like your having that being your main means of your perspective of life and how this world works and what's going on in the world, you're lied to. You're being lied to. It doesn't matter. To some degree, it's lies, trust me. And we, like, our generation knows that, because we've just been at we're I hate using the word, but the millennials, we're in that rare pocket. Like, we still have that, we still have everything left over from that 1999 era, where like we're disconnected. I mean, we're more connected with that old way of life. And we used to, as kids, we y'all didn't understand the balance we were faced with as children, man. Because y'all were just like, I remember my father coming in, I got bad grades, and he saw me playing the PlayStation. He came in, he's like, I'm sick of this shit. PS1 over his head, boom, smash, pieces flying everywhere. As a kid, it's just like your world's going, bro. And you think that's the worst thing that could ever happen to you at that age. It's so funny. And you're just like, wow, like, dude's nuts. But my pops, he saw ahead of the curve along. Like, he knew that, like, the degradation of hip hop was gonna fuck his kids' minds up. He knew the you know, all these video gamers and addiction, and yeah, it really messed our childhood up, man. Like, we spent a lot of time indoors. We were at least still out there. And as for the kids now, I can't even speak to that. It's we're truly unique. But getting back to about our perspectives of the world, it's like, yeah, like, we all need to start like having a serious conversation, okay? And you know, as much as I respect you, all the people in my life who are older, it's like, yo, we're in the middle, and we're looking at all this manipulation and facade of fucking bullshit because we've had a taste of this since we were children, and we knew this whole system was fucked up, but we still played that game. We see we're in the middle of this, like, oh my God, everyone older than us doesn't have this clear picture. Everyone younger than us has an even worse picture. Okay? So everyone in their 30s to 40s right now, you feel it, man. It's like that fucking movie, Fight Club. It's exactly like that. That movie's so good, man. Because that movie was so on point for the times. And at that time, y'all had even less information, okay? And that was already hinting at, yo, there's something devilishly wrong with this system, okay? And it said, like, oh, where's your great war, right? That's one of the best quotes from the film. Where's our generation's great war? We don't fucking have one, okay? And it's certainly not the one that's happening right now, because no one supports that shit. You're fucking, your mind's cooked if yo, you shouldn't be taking sides in none of that, honestly. that whole thing's going on to distract you from everything else, man. Like, that it's crazy to hear people justify any of that, man. Okay? None of it. No one fucking asked for any of it. So, where's our great war? It's happening. I've been trying to tell you the last couple videos. Our great war is up here in a way that many of you cannot begin to understand, but there's some of you that get it, okay? This world is more like a fucking Marvel film than you can possibly comprehend. Where do you think that shit comes from, okay? And I get stern when I say these things because it's like, it's been driving me mad for over 10 years. We're in the biggest bubble ever of society, and we're still like, oh yeah, like, part of us wants to still protect this bubble. Like, in the 90s, everyone wants to talk about the 90s. We didn't know shit back then. Okay? And now that jumps to another film, The Matrix. Who's the most fascinating character in The Matrix? Neo? No. Agent Smith, kind of. He's like almost this like anti-hero, like in between, like kind of knows everything's wrong, but like, and knows no one's right, but he's got his own mission to get the fuck out of there. Okay? That resonates with me more than Neo. Neo wants to save everybody. Agent Smith's like, no, let's get the fuck out. And don't get in my way. That's so Agent Smith, very interesting. Who's the next most interesting person? Cypher, the bald-headed man. Okay? That fucks everybody over. The Judas of the story, right? Okay? Now, the Judas of the Bible, I didn't think I'd get to this. Judas of the Bible, that has a surface story, okay? That's when you open up into the Dead Sea Scrolls, Book of Enoch, Gospel of St. Thomas, Gospel of Matthew. There's a hidden Gospel of Matthew. Like, it's obvious. Like, you gotta, like, if you want to stand there with that book and say, this is the word of God in its completion, go for it. It's not in its completion, okay? And when it comes to the Judas story, that one played out when you hear it from the words of St. Thomas. That was almost part of the playwright, okay? It was almost part of the playwright. And supposedly, and I don't know how deep this goes. Again, depends on how much you believe the Dead Sea Scrolls are real. That Judas in itself he had to step up into that position in which Christ asked him to. Okay. So there's something deeper. I don't know much about it, and you better go ask a pastor because I'm no authority on the subject. But I forget the basis of why it happened like that. But for some reason, God needed the role of betrayal to be presented into that story. And therefore, Judas was rewarded in the end for that. But I don't even know what the fuck I'm getting at with that one. And it's probably bullshit. So, where does that leave us? Judas in the Matrix. Cypher. So, we're getting back to society. I mentioned the 1990s. That film's so fascinating, The Matrix, because it opens. What's the opening? It goes, the peak of civilization in 1999. Oh man, does that hit? Every fucking year that goes by, that becomes more true. Like, that was our peak, as far as like peace, civility, this, that, and the other thing. And now what I'm getting at with Cypher was, what's his famous line? Ignorance is bliss. Put me back in the Matrix, man. I don't want this reality. I don't want to be, floating around in this apocalyptic wasteland trying to wake people up into a wasteland. It's like, oh, good, now you got the facts, but you're in a wasteland, okay? And guess what? And you're still grinding your wheels here with us. So that dude wanted to go back, and he fucked everybody over to do it. He sold them out. So the reason why it's fascinating, obviously, he's a piece of shit. You don't want a friend like that. Now, but his perspective when he's sitting down with Agent Smith, he's almost convincing. He's trying to convince Agent Smith, I'll be a double agent for you. Please put me back in the Matrix, and here's why. And you got an AI machine sitting there, being the gatekeeper of him coming back in. Okay? Why did he want to do that? Because ignorance is bliss. You're going to have a better, happier life if you don't listen to me. If you don't listen to other people that are putting information out like this. Or it's not like I have information. It's just it's just life. It's just observation. Okay? So, I don't know. Maybe the answer is to stay blissful. Maybe stay blissful, pretend like nothing's happening. But that's not me. I think there is something to be said with, there needs to be a pocket of our society that does turn a blind eye to all this and moves on. Okay? And let's leave that mostly to the good people, to families, to people just raising kids and just want to get through this life, okay, with prosperity and love. Let's leave that to them. We're not out here asking anyone to call to action about this shit. But for younger people my age, especially if you're a man, we're on this earth to protect women and children, bro. And there's a serious fucking problem with that. Okay? Real serious. And your entire government isn't doing a thing about it. And that should really make you question what this world is, bro. Okay? Really question that. And as far as the next 4 to 5 years, I'm not gonna be some fucking doomsday this is all gonna happen. No, there's a potential. A lot of fucked up shit's gonna happen, okay? Potential. Alright? But even in that realm, of shit going bad, because the reason why nothing's happening is because it's so bad, okay, that it's connected to your life. It's connected to the universities you went to. It's connected to CEOs of companies that either you work for or other people in your network. Like, you're doing business with that shit, okay? You got a fucking iPhone in your hands. It's part of it. It all is. It's crazy. You know? But when I find shit out, I will never use a Microsoft computer ever again. That's not out of, I think Apple's better. No. There's great things you can do with a Microsoft machine. I am not getting another fucking thing with that M on it, man. Plain and simple. Because now I'm here, like, we have to start drawing the line. Are we, like, who are we going to continue to line the pockets of? Devilish people that may or may not even be human. Their humanity's gone, and they're trying to screw you over because they don't care about you? Or do we look to other companies and other things and other small startups that are working on something and instilling being a good fucking person into their company? Okay, that needs to be the shift in our culture. Everything needs to mean everything. Okay. You got the games of justification are over. You're unknowingly being asked to make some serious left and right decisions in your life based on what we do. And again, I'm going to bring this up. This goes right back to Lord of the Rings. Let's go for a third movie. All right, I like to use movie references, obviously. How's he say it? It's the best saying in the whole film. It's Gandalf. He goes, the war against evil is won by the good deeds of everyday men and women. Whoa. Should I say it again? Probably going to mess it up, though. The war of good and evil, or against evil, is won by the good deeds of everyday men and women. Let that sink in. I'm not even going to pretend that went smooth. I got a whole nog in my mouth. I believe that's what holds the balance to everything. And that's why all that shit can even fucking occur, is because there's such a counterintuitive force of everyday people just wanting to be a good person. Okay, that's what really holds this world together. Okay. And it's unfortunate because being good and nice leads you to misery. Everything's good with everyone else, but it'll lead you to misery. Always trying to be a good dude. Man, I got real caught up in and I recommend everyone look into this. It has to do with Agent Smith. It has to do with General Zod, right? General Zod. Okay. I need you to go look up, because it's way better people. Alejandro, his name begins with an M. Look up Hermetic Principles and type in Alejandro, however that's spelled, and you'll find great content. And he likes to focus on manifestation, which I can't stand that word, but he has a raw, cut through, this is how you manifest. Okay? He does a good job of keeping his calm, but he has communication like me, but he's not going to be so animated. I just can't help it. So Go look up the Hermetic Principles, and then start with that. He has like mad videos on that. Start with the shortest one, and then dive into everything he has on the anti-hero. Okay, the anti-hero. Like, how could that even exist? Because it's a hero that's perceived as a nemesis to the rest of society, but it's also the nemesis of the actual evil. Okay, and they have an overarching perspective of the world, and you can even take this to a Thanos perspective of why he, you got to look at motives. Okay, look at motives in these stories, because there's a lot of hidden messages. Just like the Bible's encoded, so is the, all these films. Like, as much darkness that gets tainted into Hollywood, that's because there's an overarching force of good that's putting out an awesome message. So, and to make it, that's real, that's Hollywood in real life, bro. So that's the balance and the antithesis of things, the duality. And the anti-hero, you got to look at all the anti-heroes, like who's in between, who even seems like the arch villain but may not be. And if you go watch, no one ever talks about this. You ready? All you Marvel geeks, DC's way better, Batman's awesome, Ben Affleck's best Batman. Please fill up the comments with all your banter and insult my life and everything about me for saying that. Please, let's get it going. Ben Affleck's the best Batman, plain and simple. Anyway, why? Because you got to look at his motives. What was he doing? Hunting down human traffickers. And then, boom, all of a sudden there's aliens on the face of the earth that could possibly destroy it. Oh, we should probably kill all of them. That's Bruce Wayne, bro. That's the Batman I want to see. Okay? The anti-hero. So, what is it, and why do they do what they do? General Zod, for instance. Okay? That story's phenomenal. Batman vs. Superman, and you got to start with this is how the epic goes. You got to watch this in sequence, and this is why Justice League is way better than all of Marvel with very few films. Start with Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Zack Snyder cut of Justice League. Okay, that's the trifecta. That's the ultimate trilogy. Okay, and it wasn't released as a trilogy, and if they did, that's where they fucked up, then they would have had something, okay? You put that in a box as a trilogy, that's the ultimate tale of the world you're in. And the General Zod character needs special attention. And you got to watch the first 15 minutes of Man of Steel. Not only is it the best film score of all time, and I listen to it every day of my life, it's impacted me the most as a producer, or composer. What's the difference? That'll be another video. There's pros and cons. Now, General Zod, my favorite character ever. What if he was here on Earth right now as a human being? Okay, so let's take that perspective, that he's on our team. He's a human. Things got so bad on Krypton, and the government was driving it into the ground, and not even for evil ways, for just ways they thought technology was their savior, and it was their doom. Okay? And, let's say Superman, I was trying to think of his actual name, that's bad. I can't think of his Kryptonian name. It's terrible. Someone please say it. Please comment what his Kryptonian name is. So Jor-El is his father, and he had the perspective before Superman was born that, and he would talk. General Zod was his best friend. Jor-El was an advisor to the High Council, and they were all bred through technology to have these innate qualities, and natural birth was eliminated, or they couldn't do it anymore because of the way they just went. And so they were born in test tubes with these predetermined qualities and roles. So Jarrell's was, I'm going to be a high consultant for the entire planet and ensure, and be a mediator. General Zod, on the other hand, was a general. So he was a protector of the planet, the main protector of the planet, in control of the military. So once they start having conversations like, yo, the political realm is dooming this planet. So they're discussing this for years, and then the planet gets to a point where it's going to explode. So how do we translate that to now if General Zod's here? We're seeing things kind of explode here as far as our system goes. So let's pin it into the realm of what General Zod does. He walks into his high council and starts blasting. And he makes an example out of the worst of them. And then he says to the rest of them, I'm in control. We're stopping this now. And tries to take over. Jarrell steps up and tries to put an end to that. And that starts the whole trilogy. Because he's like, you're doing this by force and da-da-da. And they have a conflict. He's like, but Jarrell's like, you're right. But we got to do this peacefully, but there was no time to do that, and General Zod knew that. The only reason why General Zod became evil, he was forced to do that, because once he goes, I'll speed this up, Superman becomes the last key to reviving the Kryptonian population. So General Zod goes, I need what's in his genetics to revive Krypton because it's in my blood to do that. So if he was a human, let's reverse that role. He's looking at another human being in an apocalyptic situation like, oh no, we gotta find this person because they're the last person to embrace and genetically so we can breed again. It's the last key. So he comes to Earth and says, like, I am here, I am an alien. There's an alien among you. We need him. He must step forward or there will be consequences. So at that point in the film, I'm like, this guy is just trying to do the right thing and save his people. So that's what makes him different. Okay, but he becomes the villain to Earth because Superman taps into his humanity and feels like he's more of a human. So he wants to save everyone and stay with them instead of... So the whole time I'm watching this film, I'm like, wow, then they're warring because Superman wants to stay and protect humanity. So this is where Batman's perspective comes in. Like, protect humanity is like, yo, you brought a motherfucking war here from outer space. And they didn't even want to war. They said, come with us and go away. Back to another planet and whatever. And Superman chose not to do that out of his moral reasons because he felt like he's, borderline Christ on earth, which is a great scene when he's actually sitting with a pastor in a church before trying to decide whether or not he should just go with them. It's a great film. I mean, what are you people doing? Go watch it. It's awesome. So yeah, when you relate all this into your personal life, and what, that guy, Alejandro, I said, go watch his stuff. You're going to see how a dose of anti-heroism into your life, like, especially if, like, you're in a place where you're feeling beat down, or this or that, or the other thing. What's a better feeling than despair? Because despair is, like, the worst fucking thing you can feel. It's one, and what's better than that is to rise the fuck up. And sometimes maybe that's even out of anger of your circumstances or this or that. And you might feel like, yo, I'm about to fuck shit up. That's a better feeling. Like, grip your circumstances and fucking change it by force. And do that any means necessary. Whatever that means to you. Okay? That's the summary of it all. Great content, but great films, and it's great to go through that stuff and then rewatch these things. Okay? So, I'm going to wrap that one up there. All right. Have a good day.